Hey everybody, it's Sarah, the wine-loving bookworm, back with another book review. I know I have been missing in action for a little while now, about a month. Sorry about that. We had a lot going on. We went to visit my sister in Arizona. We went to Savannah. I ran a half marathon there, and then we've had some deal with some family stuff. So I haven't really been reading that much, and I just haven't gotten to a video. But that's all changing now. Of course, the holidays are going to be hectic, but I'm going to try to keep to my schedule as much as possible. So let's start off with the wine, like usual. My husband went out today and got me this. It is Luna Nuda. It's kind of a funny name. Italian, a Pinot Grigio. Also, when I was in Arizona, my sister and I are huge Hocus Pocus fans, and she got me this. It's not really Halloween anymore. It's not Halloween anymore, not really. I don't know if you can see it. There's kind of a glare, but it's the cutest little Hocus Pocus wine glass. It's from Spirit Halloween. It says Life Potion on it, you know? Duh. So, all right, let's give it a shot. Oh, that's really good. Man, that is good. You know how sometimes Pinot Grigios are a little fruity? This is not fruity. Let's try it again. That's good. I really like that. So, Luna Nuda. I think you got it at Publix. That's a Florida, Georgia thing, but I'm sure you can get it wherever wine is sold by you. Okay, so let's move on to the book. It's called The Light of the Fireflies. I read it on my Kindle, so I'm going to show it to you on the Kindle. That's the cover, The Light of the Fireflies by Paul Penn. I got this when Amazon was doing this like World Reading Day, and they had 8 or 10 books you could download for free on Kindle. I'm not a huge Kindle reader, but occasionally I'll get something on there. And yeah, they had all these books that were translated into English from other languages, and this happened to be one of them. So I read it. It's a Spanish author named Paul Penn. I wrote down some notes on him. He is an author, a journalist, and a scriptwriter. I didn't see where he was from. I think somewhere in South America. But he won the Gonzu Prize for Author of the Year from a Spanish newspaper called 20 Minutes. This is his second novel. His first novel was called The Warning, and I actually think that's the one he won the award for. I don't think he's won any awards for this, but I'm not exactly sure. So that's Light of the Fireflies, Paul Penn. So, what did I think of this book? Let me give you a basic kind of outline of the book. It's told from the perspective of the 10-year-old boy. I didn't look up his name. His name is escaping me right now. So it's told from a perspective of a child, and which I always find interesting, and I'll kind of connect that to another book I read in a minute, but they kind of slowly give you background because you're telling it from the perspective of a child. So a child's not going to come out. He's not going to understand everything that's happening in his life. He's not really going to understand exactly what adults are doing. Adults hide things from him. So I always think it's interesting when they come from a child's perspective. So you start to see that he is living in a basement with his family, which consists of his mother, his father, his grandmother, his brother, and his sister. So you're like, okay, that's weird. Why are they living in a basement? And then you start to kind of get the impression that they are disfigured in some way. The other family members, not him, really. And that it was probably a fire. There's talk of fire. But you're getting this from a 10-year-old, so you don't really have all of the information. Then you realize that the sister's pregnant. And the sister is wearing a mask. All the other family members are not wearing masks. The boy can tell that, he says certain things about how their skin looks or how their eyes look or whatever. So you can tell there is something wrong with their faces and they have been burned. It's just, you find that out, that they've been burned. But the sister wears a mask. And they're really mean to the sister, too. And you don't really understand why, and you find out she's pregnant. Okay, so let's do the math. They're living in a basement, and you find out this boy is 10 and wasn't in whatever precipitated them moving into the basement. Okay, so we're talking 10 years now, and the sister's pregnant. They've been living in a basement with the family. I mean, are you starting to catch my drift? How does the sister get pregnant living in the basement with her family? So that's the first, ill, but So I don't want to give away all the story, but that's kind of like the background of the story. It struck me as very similar to Room, which I don't know if y'all have read that or at least seen the movie. Emma Donoghue, I think, wrote it, told from the perspective of a 5-year-old boy that lives in this room with his mother, and eventually it turns out that she had been kidnapped and kept in an underground kind of basement thing or a shed or I don't remember exactly, and raped, and she had the baby as a product of the rape. So this struck me as very similar. So I was actually thinking, when were they written? And he wrote it in 2016. She wrote it in 2010. I mean, is it a little cribbing off her? I mean, it's different. It's totally different. But telling it from the perspective of a child kept in the basement with a family member, it was a little too similar for my taste, really. And Room, in my opinion, was much better. Much better. So I don't know. It just like right off the bat, I'm like, this is like Room. What I liked about the book is it was sort of a mystery. You're trying to figure out, why are they in the basement? Why are they burned? Why is the sister pregnant? Why is she wearing a mask? Why does everybody seem to hate her? So I do like the, literary device of having it being told from a child's perspective, because they just give you little bits and pieces. Towards the end, though, they flip the script and they're telling you what actually happened before the boy was born. The boy was born in the basement. So they're telling you what precipitated, what led up to the fact of these people staying in the basement. And there's this like boogeyman they call the Cricket Man in there that, comes in the house, and they say he'll, if he comes out when the Cricket Man's there, he'll kill him or whatever. So it's like, where is all this going? So at the end, they do flip the script, like I said, and they tell you the backstory. So this is where I get to where I don't like. I mean, the backstory was pretty horrific. I mean, it was disturbing. It was depressing. It was like everything depressing you could possibly, shove into some kind of story. I didn't like it. It really took a bad turn for me. So that was just, he didn't finish it well. I thought Room was finished well. I thought she really went to the right place with it. This was just, disturbing. So, that is sort of my review for this book. I would give it like 2.5 stars. It's very easy to read, and the beginning part, I just couldn't put it down, because I'm thinking, why are they in this basement? Tell me why they're in this basement. Tell me why they don't like the sister. Tell me why they're burned, But at the end, I'm just like, really? This just, I don't really like things that are too disturbing or gruesome, and it was fairly disturbing and gruesome. So I don't know what to tell you about that. It was translated from Spanish, so if you read Spanish, maybe it's better in Spanish. I don't know. I wouldn't really suggest going out of your way to pick it up unless this sounds like super interesting to you, like something you would really like. But yeah, so that's my review of, I'll show it to you one more time. I'm going to get my phone open. The Light of the Fireflies by Paul Penn. Okay, so moving on. I had a book club this week, but I didn't go because I haven't been reading, like I said, and I just didn't. And this book is like long. So I'm going to visit my sister over Thanksgiving, so I'm going to try to read it on the plane and all that. It's really small words, too, as you could say, so that's going to be interesting. But anyway, it's called The Heart's Invisible Furies. I think it takes place in Ireland. Yeah, it does, which I love Ireland. I've been there once, but I loved it, so I like books about Ireland. So anyway, The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne. So that'll be next week. Again, like I said, I'm visiting my sister over Thanksgiving, so this probably won't be done on Sunday, but hopefully by Monday I'll be able to crank out a video for you. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Sorry I left you in the lurch for so long. Hopefully that won't happen again. And until next week, get some Luna, what is it called? Luna Nuda wine. How can I forget that name? If you missed out on the Hocus Pocus glasses at Spirit, well, I'm sorry for your luck. On Light of the Fireflies, I would say don't pick it up. But, you do you. Cheers!